team, and we've already met. Just going to throw it out there if none of the other tactic teams have met, which I bet they have, though. So that work has already started, and I'm very excited that it's not just our district that gets to participate, but also our community gets to participate in those in that development. So super exciting. And this is our last board meeting of 2023. So happy holidays to everybody. And I wanted to take a moment to thank our diversity, equity, and inclusion and community engagement team. Boy, is that's a mouthful. I appreciated and valued what I heard from our senior director, Ms. Tony Riley, tonight, and it reinforces the importance of this team and its mission. And I'm excited about the work of the district's equity working group and looking forward to hearing more about their work. So additional work being done here in the spring. And lastly, this tiny little team has taken on community engagement, which is near and dear to me. And I'm very pleased at the work that's being done and what I'm seeing and hearing about it, and look forward to continuing that work. So thank you and happy holidays.
And thank you. So Member Donnelly, your comments?
Thank you, Madam President. One public testifier tonight proffered a direct attack on one religion as he singled out Christians for ridicule via a quote from a great American patriot who, however, was not an attendee at the 1787 Constitutional Convention and misstated constitutional law in this nation by apparently suggesting any reference to Christian beliefs at public schools is unconstitutional. This nation was founded on monotheism as a core of Western civilization, and that is reflected in our founding documents and the writings of the actual delegates to the 1787 Constitutional Convention. Even the liberal U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has held that our national motto of "In God We Trust" can be displayed in public schools. And the Pledge of Allegiances, "One Nation Under God," can be recited in public schools. The academic discussion of all world religions is not unconstitutional, no matter how much some who are atheists or have other opinions might object to it. With that, I just wish everyone Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Member Donnelly. Mr. Jacobs.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Had the opportunity to visit Stream Academy, which is one of my East Side schools this year. It's a charter school, relatively small program, but they're doing some amazing things, and really was a pleasure to connect with staff there and see the unique things they're doing to bring in a underappreciated, I think, aspect of transitioning to college, career, and life readiness to our next generation of learners. With that said, it was a good reminder and centering to hear that some of the same fiscal challenges our district is facing, our charter schools aren't exempt from them. And they are funded through the same formula. And I know charter schools, and rightfully so, have been garnering additional positive attention recently due to national rankings. We operate charters very uniquely here in Alaska, I'm aware, and we have some amazing programs doing some amazing work. Charter schools are still public ASD schools, and we choose to fund our charter schools through a formula that is frozen in time in 2017. And so it was heartening to hear leadership of that building, advocate for continued support for all public schools, which will include charter schools. So I think just something to keep in mind as we transition to advocacy in June or this next session. With that said, members Wilson and I are both therapeutic foster parents. I didn't get to see Member Wilson's event, but and so you missed out. But there was a great performance by a portion of the South Orchestra at the Denali Family Services foster care event, and the students took their own time on a Friday evening, came and performed for the families. Some great music, and so it made the experience that much more memorable for my foster youth. And they expressed interest as to how to participate in orchestra once they had the chance to do so. And so appreciate and shout out to South High students. With that said, happy holidays to all. Great conversation tonight, and looking forward to seeing you folks again next year.
Thank you. And last but not least, whenever you're ready.
Maybe least. Who knows? I got a lot of time left. I just comment usually about the speakers. The last speaker really hit me with the issue of what basically Apple did, and that is small. Excuse me 1 second. I got to get rid of the Bluetooth with the phone, no question about it. But I'm interested in the comments you made about doing things differently in the small garage shop type approach, everything being different, comparison. But in doing so, I remember back in 2016, we had for several years asked for data in regards to how we're doing academically for years growth in different schools and different grades, and told it wasn't existed. And then suddenly in August of 2016, it was rolled out that they had it all. But if we're going to look at the comparison between schools, I think that's really important information. I appreciate member Lessons talking about funding for different schools that need it and where we are. But it was revealing back then, and I think it would be revealing again. I remember in third grade, the reading scores were all low, and it really didn't matter the school. Then it focused on the curriculum, because that was more the factor that was involved. But I do like the public involvement, knowledge of how the different schools are doing, how the different grades are doing. We didn't get into classrooms, but we did get into the grades, and it was revealing. And so I'm going to make some requests along those lines, but I like the idea of saying, okay, if we're going to look at things differently, there's accountability that goes with it, though. There's assessments and accountability, and we look for the best practices that are working and why it's working better in some schools than others. And I think that would be a significant movement. I look forward to reading that document. I hope that speaker submits it, because she had a bunch of other ideas. They've been to some of the music events going in schools and all the holiday type activities. I did hear a couple of issues. One is just the sixth grade transition into the middle school, concerns about that and how that works. And my concern goes back, and I said it before, for those kids, socially, emotionally learning may not have been quite developed to go into the middle school as comfortable. What are we doing as a district to help those students so that we don't drop academically? Studies have shown they drop. That we saw that before, and I have no objection to it because there were some advantages and disadvantages. I agree with that, but I think we should at least focus a little bit on what are we going to do. Is there some things we need to be planning on now at this point in time? And the same thing goes to the change with the starting times. We postponed it a year because of the difficulty is going to be for some families out there with daycare and or some type of care after school, preschool, and we took this year to try to address that, look at it, whether there's activities in the schools before or after, or some adjustments. It's going to be a problem. We knew that going into it. I mean, the high school kids are not getting out before the young ones, then you can't just release them, and they often served as caring for the youngest kids for a short time. So I hope we get into a discussion like that, because the public's interested in it. I heard a number of questions coming in from both parents and from the teachers in regards to those two questions, and I think they're both appropriate. within that. But the academic issue really is a good one, I think. That was the same year that they were advocating that we should expect people to go less than a full year because they couldn't all be Michael Jordan. That's what they ran on, as if they're not capable of learning. Well, I think all kids are capable of learning, and we have to address that issue positively. But I think we need to look at the academics, where it's growing, where it's not, and then question why. Like Member Lessons suggested, we need to put the resources to address those areas where it's not happening, because all kids can learn. And other school districts are putting more to catch kids up in it, and not just a full year, but catching up. And we need to see what we can do, but we got to have the data first. And the data by grade, whether they're growing a full year or not, what percentage. It's really enlightening when we saw the data, and I think it would be good for the board to look at that again. So with that, I will probably wish everybody happy holidays. I will wish Member Donnelly a happy Hanukkah and a Merry Christmas. I'm going to be fair about this. I'm willing to be more flexible in line with it. With that, wish everybody a happy holidays. Thank you.
I'm not letting you. You're not going last anymore.
I move to adjourn.
So my comments will be brief, very brief. I do want to commend Rogers Park Community Council and Rabbit Creek for considering and initiating resolutions on behalf of very similar to our joint assembly resolution to increase the BSA. I mean, they're working hard, and I know there are more community councils, but those are the only two I know of tonight. I would like to have the board consider our next, the date for our next, and I'll send it to you, but January 11th for our next Goals and Guardrail meeting, so that we can get those finalized. I'll send those out. I'll send that information out to you, but if you can kind of hold it, January 11th.
That's a Thursday, and we have a whole slate of.
Oh, we do.
We have.
Oh, that's right. We're a month late, right? Okay, so then the next week, which would be the 18th, right? Is that the next Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be the 18th. I forgot we are going back. I was on a different because of the whole New Year thing. We're not meeting on the 2nd. We're meeting on the 9th, right? Which means okay, got it. I would like board members to think about the legislative fly-in, which is coming up, as well as with our students. Now, we know we can't send all of us, and all of us are not able to go, but I will be working with the superintendent and with Amanda to see how many we can send. Students, how many students we can send, and we can afford to send. Because that's coming up in February, and that's a huge priority. I would like for board members to join me in inviting and encouraging parents to contact their public officials. As much as we talk about cutting budgets, everybody's got some values, everybody's got some skin in the game, and it's going to take all of us asking for the same thing to get it done. So please, when you have the opportunity to talk with, when people are asking for things to not be cut, hear them, listen to them, but also encourage them to follow up with their elected officials. And I'd also like the board members to just be aware that while I respond to the school board, emails that come to the school board, people are separating us out. So you may get individual emails. Don't assume that I've responded on behalf of the school board, because they're coming individually to each of you, each of us, right? So just be aware of that. Our legislative priorities are on the website, and I will be bringing more information forward, not just on the legislative priorities, but on the Betty Davis Youth Summit, which is coming up in February. We are planning that event. It is not going to be during the school day this year. It'll be an evening event, which I'm happy for. We don't have to bus kids anywhere and any of that. So more information will come on that. And the June Nelson Scholarship Fund is available to our students to apply for. That's a $1,500 scholarship award from the AASB, the Association of School Boards, Alaska School Boards. And then finally, I'm glad 2023 is about over. I'm looking forward to 2024, but I do want to wish everyone and you and yours a wonderful holiday season. So, and thank you for your service, your hard work, your support, whatever your role is in this city. We do thank you on behalf of the school board. Dr. Bryant, do you have anything?
Happy holidays and drive safe out there. Lots of snow.
All right. With that,
Move to adjourn.
moved in second to adjourn. Any opposition? Seeing and hearing none, we are adjourned.
Recording stop.